Today we're talking about how to participate as a group in the merit-based incentive payment system known as MIPS. After watching this video, you'll be able to describe how to participate in MIPS as a group and explain which clinicians will receive a MIPS payment adjustment when your practice reports as a group. Let's begin by reviewing how MIPS eligibility is determined. You're considered a MIPS eligible clinician, i.e., required to report, and are eligible to receive a payment adjustment when you meet all of the following criteria. You're an eligible clinician type, and you enrolled in Medicare before January 1st of the performance year, for example, by January 1st, 2024 for the 2024 performance year, and you're not identified as a qualifying alternative payment model, APM participant, or QP, and you exceed the low volume threshold at the individual or practice level. A clinician's eligibility status is based on their National Provider Identifier, or NPI, and Associated Taxpayer Identification Numbers, or TINs. A TIN can belong to you if you're self-employed, a practice, or an organization like a hospital. When you reassign your Medicare billing rights to a TIN, your NPI becomes associated with that TIN. This association is referred to as a TIN NPI combination. If you reassign your billing rights to multiple TINs, you'll have multiple TIN NPI combinations. We evaluate a clinician for MIPS eligibility under each of their 10 NPI combinations. We use TINs to evaluate practices for the low volume threshold. Now let's look at an example of how clinicians can participate in MIPS as a group by visiting Apple Valley Medical Center. Apple Valley Medical Center has 6 clinicians on staff, all of whom have reassigned their billing rights to the 10. Let's meet them. Anna enrolled in Medicare during this performance year. Bob enrolled in Medicare prior to the performance year, but didn't exceed the low volume threshold as an individual at this practice. Charlie, Danielle, and Evelyn each enrolled in Medicare prior to the performance year and exceed the low volume threshold as individuals at this practice. Frank is a clinical pharmacist, which isn't a MIPS eligible clinician type. For this performance year, Apple Valley Medical Center participates at the group level, exceeds the low volume threshold as a group, and submits aggregated data representing performance by all 6 clinicians as appropriate to the quality measures selected. For the improvement activities, at least 50% of the clinicians in the group will be required to attest to completing the same activity during the performance year. For Apple Valley Medical Center, that means at least 3 of their 6 clinicians. The group only has 6 clinicians, which means it's a small practice, and therefore doesn't need to report promoting interoperability. We'll automatically calculate cost measures for the group and score the group on the cost measures they meet the requirements for. As a reminder, the MIPS program has distinct phases that span multiple calendar years, including the performance year, the data submission and performance feedback year, and the payment year, which is when the payment adjustment is applied to eligible clinicians. Apple Valley Medical Center earned a final score that corresponds to a positive 1.2% MIPS payment adjustment. Because Apple Valley Medical Center is reporting as a group, their final score is based on the collective performance of their clinicians across all performance categories during the performance year. The MIPS payment adjustment is applied on a claim-by-claim basis to payments for covered professional services payable under the Medicare Part B physician fee schedule during the payment year. Do you know which clinicians are eligible to receive the MIPS payment adjustment? Will Anna receive it? No, Anna isn't eligible to receive a MIPS payment adjustment because she enrolled in Medicare during the performance year. Will Bob receive it? Yes, Bob will receive the MIPS payment adjustment. Bob didn't exceed the low volume threshold as an individual, but when reporting as a group, the low volume threshold is applied at the group level, so he qualifies. Will Charlie, Danielle, and Evelyn receive it? Yes, they each were enrolled in Medicare prior to the performance year. And what about Frank the pharmacist? No, Frank will not receive the payment adjustment because he isn't a MIPS eligible clinician type. In summary, A practice can participate in MIPS at the group level when clinicians reassign their billing rights to the practice, 10, the practice exceeds the low volume threshold as a group, the practice submits aggregated data representing all clinicians as appropriate. The MIPS payment adjustment is applied to MIPS eligible clinician types who are enrolled in Medicare before the performance year and aren't identified as a QP. For more information, search group participation on the resource library or in the search box located in the upper right-hand corner of the qpp.cms.gov website. Thank you for watching.